1. India's Central Drugs Labs fined 55 substandard drugs in June 2025. 2. For spurious drugs flagged by CDSCO, what you need to know. 3. Central Drugs Laboratories report, 55 drug samples fail quality standards. 1. India's Central Drugs Labs fined 55 substandard drugs in June 2025. In a startling revelation, the Central Drugs Laboratories have flagged 55 samples from various manufacturers as being not of standard quality in June alone. This alarming finding was reported by Health Ministry officials on July 18, highlighting a significant concern in the pharmaceutical sector. Additionally, state drugs testing laboratories have also reported that 130 drug samples did not meet the required quality standards. This ongoing scrutiny is part of a routine regulatory surveillance effort aimed at ensuring the safety and efficacy of medications available to the public. Each month, the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, updates its portal with a list of drugs that are categorized as not of standard quality or spurious. This transparency is crucial for public awareness and safety. According to a ministry official, for June 2025, the Central Drugs Laboratories identified 55 drug samples as not meeting quality standards, while state laboratories found 130 such samples. The classification of a drug sample as not of standard quality occurs when it fails to meet one or more specified quality parameters during testing. It's important to note that this designation pertains specifically to the batch tested by government laboratories and does not imply that all products from the same manufacturer are unsafe. Officials have reassured the public that the identification process is thorough and focused on maintaining high standards in the market. Moreover, in June, authorities identified one drug sample each from Bihar and Delhi, along with 2 samples from Telangana, as spurious. These particular drugs were produced by unauthorized entities that misappropriated a brand name belonging to another legitimate company. Investigations are currently underway, and appropriate actions will be taken in accordance with the relevant regulations. This proactive approach to identifying and removing not of standard quality and spurious medicines is a collaborative effort with state regulators, aimed at safeguarding public health. The Health Ministry emphasizes that such actions are taken regularly to ensure that unsafe drugs do not remain in circulation. What do you think about the measures being taken to ensure drug safety? Are they sufficient, or do you believe more stringent actions are necessary? Share your thoughts in the comments. 2. For spurious drugs flagged by CDSCO, what you need to know. Imagine walking into a pharmacy, trusting that the medication you're about to take is safe and effective. But here's where it gets controversial. Recently, the Central Drug Standards Control Organization, CDSCO, issued a stark warning about the safety of certain drugs. In their routine surveillance for June 2025, CDSCO flagged select batches of 4 drugs as spurious and listed 185 other drugs and formulations as not of standard quality, NSQ. The drugs labeled as spurious in CDSCO's latest update include Taximo 200 and Rosuva's F10 and F20 tablets. These medications are commonly prescribed for treating infections and lowering cholesterol levels, respectively, making their contamination particularly concerning. Another product on the list is a sample of Thrombophop ointment, used for treating superficial vein inflammation caused by blood clots. Interestingly, while CDSCO has identified the brands associated with the spurious samples, they have not disclosed the names of the drug manufacturers responsible. According to the CDSCO alert, the purported manufacturers have confirmed that these batches were not produced by them and are indeed spurious. Taximo is typically distributed by Alchem Laboratories, while Rosuva's is a registered brand of Sun Pharma. The Union Health Ministry provided additional details, noting that 2 of the spurious drug samples were found in Telangana, with 1 each discovered in Bihar and Delhi. A drug is generally deemed spurious if it is manufactured by unauthorized entities using brand names belonging to legitimate companies. The Union Health Minister emphasized that an investigation is underway, and appropriate actions will be taken as per the relevant laws and regulations. Officials highlighted that counterfeit versions of popular drugs, especially those used for cardiovascular conditions and hypertension, are a significant concern. To combat this issue, both central and state regulatory bodies engage in continuous efforts to identify and remove NSQ and spurious drugs from the market. Among the 185 drugs identified as NSQ in June, 55 were tested by central drug laboratories located in cities like Kolkata, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Guwahati, and Chandigarh. State drug testing laboratories were responsible for identifying the remaining 130. Drugs are classified as NSQ based on their failure to meet specific quality standards, including dissolution rates, uniformity of weight, and the concentration of active ingredients. It's important to note that these failures pertain only to the tested batches and do not imply issues with other available drug products in the market. This situation underscores the critical role of regulatory bodies in ensuring the safety and efficacy of medications. And this is the part most people miss. While we often focus on breakthroughs in medical research, maintaining the integrity of drug manufacturing processes is equally vital. What are your thoughts on how we can better protect consumers from counterfeit drugs? Share your views in the comments below. 3. Central Drugs Laboratories report, 55 drug samples fail quality standards. Can you believe that in just 1 month, health officials uncovered dozens of drug samples that didn't meet the mark? That's right. In June 2025, Central Drugs Laboratories flagged 55 samples as falling short of quality standards, while state labs spotted an even higher number at 130. This kind of discovery really hits home, reminding us how crucial it is to keep a close eye on the medicines we depend on every day. But don't worry, I'll break it all down step by step, making sure it's easy to follow, even if you're new to how drug regulations work. Now, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, makes it a point to share these findings publicly every month as part of their ongoing checks. This transparency helps everyone stay informed about potential issues in the pharmaceutical world. For June, the numbers came from routine tests where samples were examined for things like purity, strength, and safety. If a sample fails even one of these tests, it's labeled as not of standard quality. Think of it like a car failing an inspection because its brakes aren't up to code. It's specific to that particular batch, so it doesn't mean every similar drug out there is problematic. For example, if a common painkiller like ibuprofen is tested and found to have inconsistent potency, it could affect how well it works or even cause side effects, but officials stress that this is isolated to the tested batch, not a widespread recall. And this is the part most people miss. While not of standard quality drugs are concerning, there's another layer with spurious drugs that really ramps up the worry. In June, authorities identified 1 spurious sample each from Bihar and Delhi, plus 2 from Telangana. These weren't just subpar, they were outright fakes, produced by unauthorized companies that copied brand names from legitimate firms. Imagine buying what you think is a trusted antibiotic, only to find out it's a counterfeit made in some backroom operation. That's the kind of risk we're talking about here. Right now, investigations are underway, and regulatory actions are being taken based on the rules, which could include fines, shutdowns, or even criminal charges to protect public health. But here's where it gets controversial. Some experts argue that these regular findings are just a sign of a robust system catching minor issues before they become big problems, while others might see it as evidence of deeper flaws in how drugs are manufactured and distributed. Is this level of non-compliance a normal part of industry oversight, or does it point to bigger challenges like inadequate regulation or supply chain weaknesses? The whole process is a team effort between central and state regulators, aimed at quickly pulling these unsafe products off the shelves to keep everyone safe. Still, it raises questions about how often this happens and what it means for consumer trust. What do you think? Could these discoveries be overstated, or are they a wake-up call for more stringent controls in the drug industry? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe this is just routine maintenance, or does it hint at something more sinister? Jump into the comments and let's discuss.